Hey Matilda, your friend is Selena, right?
Yes, I am friends with Selena. Why do you ask?
Selena is the regional manager at the company where I work. I thought you might know her since you work there too.
Oh, really? That's fortunate then. It's always nice to have a friend in a higher position.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I want you to talk to Selena and persuade her to promote me to the assistant manager position at the company. I believe having you vouch for me will make a difference.
Brian, I appreciate your confidence in me, but I can't do that. I don't think you're ready for a promotion to assistant manager. There are others who are more qualified and have put in the necessary work.
How dare you say that? You're supposed to support me and help me advance in my career. All you do is hold me back and bother me.
Brian, I want what's best for you, but I also believe in being honest. I don't think you currently possess the skills and experience required for that position. It wouldn't be fair to others who have worked hard to earn it.
You're just jealous and trying to sabotage my progress. You're supposed to be on my side.
Brian, this has nothing to do with jealousy. I care about your success, but I believe in merit and fairness. I won't compromise my integrity by recommending someone who isn't qualified.
Well, if you won't support me, then I'll find another way to get ahead. You'll regret holding me back.
Brian, it's not about holding you back. It's about ensuring that promotions are based on merit and qualifications. I want you to succeed, but it has to be done the right way.
You stop talking nonsense. Stop talking about this. Do you have money?
No. Do you think this house has money for you to use? Huh, so now you're asking me for money? You've got some nerve, Brian. You're just as useless as I am, huh? Spending all day wasting the money you have.
Don't you dare talk to me like that, Matilda. I work hard for that money, and I deserve to spend it however I want.
Work hard? All I see is you gambling it away and drowning yourself in alcohol. I'm trying to manage our expenses and provide for our family, but you keep wasting it all.
Oh, spare me your lectures, Matilda. You're always complaining, but what do you contribute? Just lounging around the house all day, doing nothing.
Excuse me? I take care of the household and our children. I make sure they have what they need for school and their future. It's clear you have no regard for anyone but yourself.
Don't act like you're some saint, Matilda. You're just as guilty as I am for our financial troubles.
I've tried my best, Brian, while you continue to squander our money. I won't enable your destructive habits anymore. The money we have left needs to be used responsibly, not for your reckless behavior.
Fine, do whatever you want. Just know that your precious kids won't have everything they need because of your stubbornness.
Don't you dare blame me for your shortcomings, Brian. I'll make sure our children have a bright future, with or without your support.
We'll see about that, Matilda. Just remember, your actions have consequences.
I'm not afraid of your empty threats, Brian. I'll do what's best for our family, even if it means standing up to you.
You stop singing all day long. I've been working all day because of this house. You keep complaining about things. Have you tried to see yourself as the parasite in my life?
How dare you insult me like that? All I do isn't our family? Or do you think I depend on you so you have the right to insult me? Brian, I understand that you're frustrated, but you're not seeing the bigger picture. It's not about me wanting to sabotage anything or not helping. It's about integrity and fairness.
Integrity and fairness? Are you stupid? What good are they if they don't help me? If you simply told Selena that I'm your husband and I want a promotion, she would surely help. But why do you keep refusing the obvious? Are you trying to ruin our family?
Brian, it's not as simple as you make it sound. Just because I tell Selena we're married doesn't mean she'll automatically promote you. It's not fair to others who have worked hard and deserve the promotion based on their qualifications.
So, you're saying I'm not qualified? You think I'm incapable? How dare you, Matilda? I work hard, and if you helped me, I could make more money to support our family.
Brian, it's not about capability. It's about your habits. Even if you had more money, you would still gamble and drink it away. I don't see the effort from you to change, so how can I help?
You think I'm incapable of change? You're just being ignorant. All you do is criticize and destroy everything for the family.
Brian, it's not about destroying anything. I want what's best for our family, but I won't compromise my values or risk others' opportunities for a promotion that you may not be ready for.
You don't understand anything. You're foolish to think that you're helping by not doing anything. You only know how to ruin everything for everyone.
I can't believe you're making excuses again. During our wedding ceremony, you promised that when we had children, you would come home and help with the housework. But where are you when I need your support?
I'm busy with work too, you know. You should understand that and know what needs to be done. I can't be expected to do everything.
Understand? You want me to understand? I understand that you come home and bury yourself in your phone, playing games or scrolling through social media, while I'm left to handle all the household chores and take care of our children. It's not fair.
I work hard too, Matilda. I'm stressed out, and when I come home, I need some time to relax. You should be more understanding.
More understanding? How much more understanding can I be? I work hard all day, and then I come home to more work. And what about your promise to help? It's like you conveniently forgot all about it.
Look, I'm sorry if I haven't been as helpful as I should be. But you can't expect me to do everything exactly as you want it. We both have responsibilities, and it's about finding a balance.
Balance? What balance? It feels like I'm shouldering all the responsibilities while you do whatever you please. I'm tired, Brian. I'm tired of waiting for you to step up and fulfill your promises.
Maybe you should take a look at yourself too, Matilda. It's not just about me. We both have our shortcomings, and instead of blaming me all the time, maybe you should examine yourself.
I can't believe you're turning this around on me. I've been doing my best, juggling work and taking care of our family. But it seems like you don't even care. I'm tired of waiting for you to change.
Fine, if that's how you feel. Maybe I should take a closer look at myself, and you can do the same. We need to find a way to communicate better and support each other.
This morning I just received a message from Selena informing that Brian did not come to work this week, late in the afternoon. When people asked him, he bossily replied that he knew Selena so he liked it. I was surprised and angry that he dared to do so. I immediately texted him to question him for his lack of responsibility to myself and the company. Brian, where are you right now? Why aren't you at work?
I'm at a cafe nearby. I took a day off because I needed a break.
Is it true that you only take one day off, not every morning in the morning?
What is this? Did Selena tell you? Is she weird?
A break? We have bills to pay and responsibilities to fulfill. How can you just take a day off without discussing it with me?
I've been feeling stressed out and overwhelmed lately. I thought a day off would help me recharge and come back stronger.
Whereas you always come home late, so why?
Oh, you're talking about that? I never claimed I'd be home earlier. I just said I attempted to be home earlier. Don't give me that nonsense.
You haven't even been home one time and you're talking back to me? Don't be so arrogant around me.
Why are you being so impolite? How much alcohol have you consumed? I'm simply fatigued from a hard week of work.
I'm just having a little something to take the edge off. Why are you whining since you haven't changed anything since we discussed last week?
I only wanted you to come home more frequently, but nothing has changed. It's not my fault that I need a break. Just get off my case.
You haven't been around since I gave birth. You're constantly out drinking. Don't you care about your children? Don't you want to be a part of their lives?
I mean, They're constantly making problems getting home, and having to cope with a wailing child all night seems like a nightmare to me. Don't say that. I realize you have a job to keep up, but never say that about our children.
I don't care if you're drunk, don't irritate me with that type of language. Is that intended to intimidate me? I'm not sure who you think you are, but you're the one profiting from my money, and you've drank much too much.
I don't have time dealing with this issue right here. Instead, I'll call you tomorrow.
You haven't even been home once, and you're talking back to me? Don't be so arrogant around me. Why are you being so impolite? How much alcohol have you consumed? I'm simply fatigued from a hard week of work. I merely wished you to come home every so often, but nothing has occurred.
It isn't my mistake.
I gave birth to your children, and you're constantly out drinking, as if you don't give a damn about them.
I mean, they're constantly making problems going home, and having to deal with a wailing child all night seems like a nightmare to me, don't you think? I realize you have a job to perform, but don't say such about our children.
I don't care if you're drunk, don't irritate me with that type of language. Is that intended to intimidate me?
I'm not sure who you believe you are, but you're the one that benefits from my money.
What? You really have drunk too much. I'm not going to deal with this right now. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Don't bother waiting. I'll just tell you how I feel right now. You're the selfish one around here, and I'm tired of it.
You simply do chores and look after the kids. I'm the one who has to do the hard work, but all you do is boss me about. That's not what I'm trying to accomplish. It's always what you're trying to do. Don't you realize that who do you suppose pays the bills around here?
Well, I appreciate that you are looking after us by working hard at your job, but you were the one who advised me I should resign. I merely intended to take maternity leave and then return to work when it was finished.
I wanted you home since you're the lady of the house and working makes no sense.
It'd be humiliating, and you've never been a particularly good worker, so there's no way you can do both. Just let me do my part while you do yours. I don't want to hear any more back and forth about this. Are you usually like this when you go out drinking for work? This isn't for work, so don't try to be so snappy it's obnoxious.
I was correct. Finally, you won't be hearing about this again, so I'd best not mention it. I have no intention of changing what I've been doing. I recognize that now. I'm delighted we finally to an agreement on why you're phoning me. I'm out drinking again, so please leave me alone.
If you see me calling, please pick up, and what's with your tone? Are you still drunk? What's the deal with this attitude? I thought you'd figured it out by now, yet you call again.
I need to remind you of my position and who you are right now.
I don't think someone who doesn't care for their children has the right to say don't mess with me. You believe this is a joke. You're the parasite in our relationship. Enough back and forth. Just take care of the house and the kids. Already parasite. Are you referring to your wife?
I am all you do is take from me, and you're never appreciative for what I do. So if that's what you truly believe, you should be canceled.
Are you suggesting that we get a divorce, Brian?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. I'm tired of this, Matilda. I compare you to other wives who show care and consideration for their husbands, who don't constantly call and bother them.
If you want a divorce, then let's go ahead and work with a lawyer to start the proceedings. I've had enough of putting up with you, Brian.
I'm feeling frustrated too, Matilda. It seems like we've both had to endure too much in this relationship.
Fine. If that's what you really want, then let's not waste any more time. We'll settle this legally.
I never thought it would come to this, but it seems like we've reached a breaking point. We can't continue living like this.
It's unfortunate that it has come to this, Brian. I never expected our marriage to end this way.
Neither did I, Matilda. It's clear that we have both grown apart and have different expectations from each other.
We should have addressed these issues earlier, instead of letting them build up to this point. But now, it seems like divorce is the only way forward.
I agree. It's time for both of us to seek our own happiness and find a path that leads to a better future.
A month later, the court decided to grant us a divorce because of the difference in thinking. The two children were allowed to follow me away from their abusive and alcoholic father. Selena texted me to comfort me and give me unexpected news.
Hey Matilda, how have you been? How's your health and the kids?
Hi, Selena! We're doing well, thank you. The kids are growing up so fast, and we're adjusting to our new life.
That's great to hear. I've been meaning to talk to you about something concerning Brian. I found out that he was actually fired from the company.
Fired? What happened to Brian?
Well, after the divorce, things took a turn for the worse. Brian started taking frequent breaks from work to gamble and drink. His behavior began affecting his performance, and it became a significant issue at the company.
Oh, I had no idea it had gotten that bad. I always hoped he would change for the better.
Unfortunately, it seems like things escalated. Last month, there was a general meeting, and Brian's recent conduct, including his comments from March, led to a decision to terminate his employment. The Human Resources Director had to intervene.
It's disheartening to hear. I suppose it's a lesson for Brian to realize the consequences of his actions and to mature earlier.
Absolutely, sometimes life gives us these lessons, and it's important to learn from them. In a way, you're fortunate to have separated from someone who had such detrimental behavior.
It's true. As difficult as it was, I now realize it was the right decision. I hope Brian finds a way to turn his life around and grow from this experience.
We can only hope for the best for him. In the meantime, focus on your own well-being and the happiness of your children. You deserve it, Matilda.
Thank you, Selena. Your support means a lot to me. Selena, you mentioned that you had something to tell me. What is it?
Well, there's an internship opportunity at my company, and I thought you might be interested. Would you like to join?
I'm not sure if I'm capable of taking on an internship. Do you think I would be a good fit?
I know your abilities, Matilda, and that's precisely why I want to offer you this opportunity. I believe it could be a great chance for you to further develop yourself.
You really think so? It's been a while since I've worked in a professional setting, but I do miss that sense of growth and accomplishment.
Absolutely. I've seen your potential, and I know you can handle it. Plus, it's a chance to expand your skills and gain new experiences. Don't doubt yourself, Matilda.
You're right, Selena. I shouldn't underestimate my capabilities. I trust your judgment, and I appreciate you thinking of me. I'm ready to embrace this opportunity and see where it takes me.
That's the spirit, Matilda. I'm thrilled that you're on board. I'll provide you with all the necessary information, and I'll be here to support you every step of the way.
Thank you so much, Selena. Your belief in me means a lot, and I'm grateful for this chance to grow both personally and professionally.
You deserve it, Matilda. I'm excited to see how you flourish in this internship. Let's make the most of this opportunity together.
After 2 years of working at Selena Company, I worked hard to be able to step up to the position of manager that Brian dreamed of with his own strength. After all, I and my daughter was better thanks to Selena's help, was able to change her life after 2 years. And Brian was always trying to annoy us, but I had a new happiness that wasn't Brian.
Hey, Mom. Where's everybody? I just got home from work, but no one is home.
Why did you leave so early today?
I feel very good today, so I get everything done quickly and on time.
Oh, I get it.
I will make dinner. Is there something you want me to do?
No, we won't have dinner at home.
Are you eating at a restaurant?
No, we are traveling to Europe.
What?
Your dad, your sister, and we're going to have a family trip, just the three of us.
A family trip without me?
Your dad suddenly gets 2 months of paid leave. We also made some extra money from our investments, so we decided to go to Europe together. We just got on the plane.
What about me?
Why do you think you can come with us?
Huh?
You get sick very often. You will ruin our trip if we take you with us.
But I want to go to Europe.
Don't be selfish. At least let us enjoy this trip without you.
I'm sorry.
It's fine as long as you get it. Keep us safe at home.
I will.
And never contact us until we return from this trip.
What? Why? What if it's an emergency? It is possible to contact you if it is an emergency, right?
Why are you in a situation where you have to contact us? Just don't get yourself in trouble. If something really happens to you, someone else will contact us instead of you. I just don't want you to spoil our trip by making us remember your miserable face. Therefore, you should not contact us at any time until we get back.
Okay.
We have to get on the plane now. See you in 2 months. Keep the house clean and safe. And don't spend your money on useless things.
I know.
Hi, Fiona. My parents said that they saw your parents and sister at the airport yesterday. Why don't you stay with them?
Oh, hello, Otis. They traveled to Europe without me. Looks like they'll be away for 2 months.
What the hell? Why did they go on such a long trip without you?
You know how often I get sick. They said I would ruin their trip if I went with them and got sick during the trip.
That's a bad statement.
It's good now. Anyway, I have a job. I can't take 2 months off work to go with them.
But I still worry that you have to be home alone. What if something happened to you? Who will be there to help?
You are so sweet to care about someone like me. What have I done to deserve you? Thank you for always being with me. I love you.
I told you to stop talking about yourself like that. It's normal to be nice to the person you love.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It has become a habit to think of myself that way. But I will try to change for you.
Well, I guess it's inevitable that you've been around such a toxic family for over 20 years. I can understand why it's hard for you to change right away. But make small changes so you stop treating yourself badly.
Thank. You are so attentive.
Oh, you should see a doctor.
What?
Isn't now a good time to do it while your family is away?
But my mother told me not to spend money on useless things.
Your health check is not in vain. I will find you a good doctor. This is what I want most for my future wife.
Your future wife?
I was going to propose to you directly. But I can't wait any longer to let you know that I want you to be with me for the rest of my life. And I want you to be healthy so we can be together as long as possible. Don't you want to marry me? Is it because of what I do for a living?
No. Not so. That's not what I mean. It's just that my mind goes blank for a moment. I want to get married with you.
I think you'll break up with me for a second there. I won't make you regret marrying me.
Hi, Fiona. You forgot to clean the house.
Yes, Mom? Oh, that's right. It's been 2 months.
Stop acting like a fool! I don't know where you are wandering now, but come back now and clean the house. I didn't think I would return from such a pleasant trip to a dirty house covered in dust.
Mom, I don't live there anymore. I have left.
What do you mean?
I'm not going back to that house again, so you'll have to clean it up yourself.
What do you mean you don't come back? Do you think you can continue to live alone because you get sick often?
Yes, about that. I went to the doctor and checked myself.
What? I told you not to spend money on such useless things. You should save money for something more important.
Please, listen to me. Apparently, the reason I get sick so often is my allergy to house dust.
Allergic to dust?
Now that I think about it, I don't feel bad staying in my room because I can keep it clean and tidy. But my symptoms got worse when I had to clean your room.
You mean because we live in filth, that's why you get sick? Be careful with your words when you talk to me.
But it is true. You keep your room covered with dust all the time until it's covered, and then you make me clean up for you. You could let me in the room more often to clean it up before the dust builds up, but for some reason you don't want me in the room too often. But this explains why I feel nauseous every time I walk into your room, but I'll be fine after a while.
Stop wasting my time. I don't care why you are so sensitive to dust. Wear a mask or whatever you have to do to prevent that and go back to the house to clean up.
I told you I'm not going home.
What?
My boyfriend proposed to me.
Do you have a boyfriend?
I'm about to get married.
Are you serious?
He always took good care of me and even took me to the doctor to find out why I was often sick. He is a wonderful person.
So you left to live with this guy? Why did you make such an important decision without asking us first?
Well, you told me not to contact you until you returned from the trip. That's why I'm telling you now.
Don't make excuses with me. We won't be able to let you get married before your sister. We will never forgive you if you get married before her.
Does she already have a fiancé?
We can't let any old man get close to her without scrutinizing her. She is our daughter. We have to be careful with who we let her be with. She can't marry someone who has no money and doesn't treat her well. We are still looking for a nice rich gentleman for her to marry.
Then when will I get married?
You don't have to get married. Either way, the man you're with probably isn't that great. After all, which man would choose to marry you?
Don't talk about him like that. He treated me so well, made me realize how badly you all treated me. You have no right to say anything like that about him.
Pay attention to your tone, Fiona.
I will get married regardless of what you say.
Fiona! Don't be so selfish. We won't let you get married. Hi, Fiona. I found out where you had your wedding.
Huh? What?
Right now I'm in the dressing room.
But I didn't invite you.
I joined using the invitation you sent your aunt.
An invitation from Aunt Kiera? What are you talking about?
You should have stayed home like a sick person. I won't let you go through this wedding. Even if I have to destroy it with my own hands.
Mom, what are you going to do?
Now it's all over for you. You won't have a dress to wear. I cut it into pieces. Now you will have to cancel the entire wedding ceremony.
What? My wedding dress? But...
There is no way you can get married now. You cannot have a wedding without a wedding dress.
But I wore the dress.
What?
I mean, our wedding just ended. And I'm about to take the dress off.
What?
Where are you? Are you still in this wedding hall?
Yes, of course. I arrived at the wedding hall on Madison Street exactly as it was on the invitation.
But my wedding was in Greece.
Are you in Greece?
I just invited his family and friends. I did not invite any of my relatives.
So whose dress is this?
Could it be that you are at one of Aunt Kiera's friends' weddings?
What? Oh no.
Aunt Kiera told me that her friend's son is getting married.
I accepted this invitation from her.
Yes. Didn't you check the name on the invitation?
Oh no.
So that wedding dress was torn to pieces by you. I wonder how much it costs.
It's all your fault. Kiera's friends are making me pay not only for the wedding dress, but for the wedding itself. She canceled the wedding after learning what I did to her dress. Now she is making me pay for the wedding she canceled. How can I pay $40,000? It's your fault for having a wedding on the same day and confusing me with another wedding. And it's your fault for not listening to me about not getting married before your sister. It's all your fault. So you should pay this $40,000.
Stop talking to her like that.
What?
You are talking to my wife there. You can't treat her like that.
Who is this?
My name is Otis. Fiona and I just got married.
Is that Otis?
Oh, so you've heard of my name?
Why did the son of a gang boss marry my daughter?
We went to the same high school and I fell in love with her as soon as I saw her. Do not worry. I will not follow in my father's footsteps. I'm just an ordinary person working in a construction company.
But your dad is still.
Hey, let me talk a little bit.
I'm sorry.
If you wanted to talk about my father so much, would you like to meet him in person?
No. I don't want to.
I'm here to ask you a favor. Fiona doesn't want to see you again.
Okay. Do whatever you want.
Okay, good. I'm glad you understood so quickly. You are not as stupid as I thought. Never go near Fiona, hear me?
Yes, of course.
And another thing.
What is it?
About Fiona's sister, Hebe.
How about her?
We'll take her with us.
What?
She's already here with us.
Why is she there?
I want to be with Fiona. Our parents just treat us like dolls that they can do anything with. The only person who ever treated me like a real human being was Fiona. I don't want to go to Europe without her, but her parents keep refusing to take her with me. Please, let me stay with Fiona. That's what Hebe told us.
Did she say so?
It's disgusting that two people are trying to get her to marry a 40-year-old man just because he's rich. She's just 19 years old.
How did you find that out?
Oh, don't underestimate me. I may not be in my father's business, but I have my way to access any information I need. Hebe is beautiful and multi-talented. She's exactly the type of person the 40-year-old pig wants to marry. He wants your daughter so much that he will do anything.
Yes, he told us that too.
He even stalks her.
It's just because he loves Hebe too much.
But she was afraid of him and ran to us for help. We can't let her go back to you crazy people.
No. Wait. Please return Hebe to us. What would we do without her?
That pig will pay you if you convince Hebe to marry him, right? You just wanted to use her for money.
What?
So your plan is to get him to pay the $40,000 you owe for the wedding you destroyed. By making Hebe marry someone she doesn't want. You tell Fiona that your husband gets 2 months of paid leave. But the truth is that he quit because you thought that pig would give you enough money to live a lifetime. Bastards! You are worse than a pig lusting after your daughter.
No! We only...
Promise me you'll never go near Hebe either.
I will!
I'm glad this is going easy. I think it will be much harder to make you understand. I'm glad I don't have to convince you.
Yes, sir. Are we done talking?
Correct. I have nothing more to say to you. Don't worry about your daughter. I will take good care of them. Have fun figuring out how to pay for the wedding you ruined. My parents have stopped communicating with me and my sister. But I love my sister more than ever, and we're really close. My toxic parents lost 2 daughters at once, and the pig that wanted to have a sister was furious because they didn't keep their promise. He was so angry that he asked them to return the security deposit he had paid them when my parents agreed to force Hebe to marry him. That's the money they used for their trip to Europe, and they have nothing left to give back. So, they have to borrow money to pay him. They will now be in debt for years to come. They sold their house, but it was in such bad condition that it didn't sell for much. Now my sister and I can live freely without worrying about our toxic parents reappearing in our lives. I'm really grateful for what Otis has done for us.
Hey, Cammy! Aren't you experiencing any sense of shame for your actions? Do you comprehend the extent to which you cause distress to those around you?
Huh? What's gotten into you all of a sudden?
How pathetic is it to be 41 years old, married, and still residing in your parents' house? Do you grasp the weight of the burden you impose upon our family?
I don't think I'm a burden.
The mere fact that you continue to reside at home is not only embarrassing but also an additional burden in itself. It's not normal for people to live at home at that age.
Although I reside at home, the majority of the time, I am rarely present. Furthermore, I contribute financially to support the family. You have no right as my older sister to complain about me.
I'm embarrassed having you as a part of the family. You're a failure because you're still living in at home.
Are you even listening to what I'm saying?
You're a failure, that's why you can't get married. Popular girls like me can get married really quickly.
Oh really? You're right that you got married and had kids, and maybe our parents are grateful for that. But since I can't contribute in that same way, I have been giving mom and dad money. You're not doing that, now are you? You keep complaining about me, but you're also over 40 now. And since you're my older sister, you've lived even more than me. But even though you're the older sister, you and your husband still haven't sent our parents any money. What's up with that?
I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm not responding.
Don't ignore me, you just won't reply because I'm right.
I'm not gonna play your little games. You're not even willing to listen to what I have to say.
You know that I'm right. You're the one who's not willing to listen to what I have to say.
I've kicked you out of mom and dad's house.
Huh? What do you mean you kicked me out?
You're not home now, right?
I've told you a million times that I don't go home often since I have to go on international business trips frequently.
Are you saying that to brag? I'll have you known that nothing about that is worth bragging about. For me, having your own family is what truly can bring you happiness.
You might be right. But everyone's values are different. I can't deny your way of thinking. So can you not accept my way of life?
A 40-something-year-old unmarried woman like you serves no purpose.
Are you listening?
You're trash. Actually, some trash might be more valuable than you.
How long are you going to berate me until you're satisfied?
You're on a business trip right now, correct? You've worked all your life and now you're 40. What's fun about a life like that?
You really don't have to say that. I'm busy now, so are you done? If you want to keep talking, whatever.
My husband and I are considering moving in with mom and dad.
What? Really?
That's why mom and dad said that they'll refuse to take any more money from you. You probably weren't giving them much anyways. We talked about inheritance too. They said they don't want you to claim the right to anything. So we're cutting ties off with you. Just treat us like strangers from now on, okay?
Huh? Why were you guys talking about inheritance? Mom and dad are still healthy, right?
This is regarding future business. I don't want you to steal the inheritance from mom and dad. I'm the one who deserves it anyways.
I get what you're saying, but I never had any intentions of claiming the right to the inheritance anyways. So then why do I have to break off ties with the family? All I was doing was sending our parents some extra money.
I've made it so that they cut off all ties with you. Because I never want to see you again.
Let's talk about this when I return home. I'll listen to what you want. This isn't something meant to be discussed over text. We should talk about this more calmly. If you want to move in with mom and dad, then that's fine. Do what you want.
You don't seem to understand. You being there is a burden.
Are you really going to say that? I had no intention of burdening anyone.
Even if you didn't mean to be a burden, you are one. I'm done speaking with you. Why don't you go back to work? That's all you're good for anyways.
I was gonna get back to work anyways. Don't be so nasty.
My husband agrees with me. He thinks you're weird.
Why would he say something so rude? I barely even met with him yet he says that about me?
That's because it's weird for someone to be in their 40s, unmarried, into living with her parents. You boasting about how you give money to mom and dad is also a joke.
Feel free to say whatever you want. But you have no right to say any of those things. Who does your husband even think he is?
Don't make fun of my husband.
Then how about you don't make fun of me? We need time to seriously talk this through. Talk to you later.
My husband and I are moving in with mom and dad today. You'll have nowhere to live now.
Huh? Seriously? I told you we should talk this through. Did you forget?
There's nothing worth discussing with you. I've already thrown away your belongings.
Huh? I know you looked down on me, but did you really have to go that far?
While you were on your international business trip, I threw away everything into the dumpster. Since you always brag about your business trips. You're a good-for-nothing woman that still depends on her parents after hitting 40. Never come back! You should be ashamed of yourself.
Throwing everything in the dumpster. Wasn't that a hustle for you?
It was, but it was worth it because now I can cut off ties from you.
Did mom and dad agree to you doing this?
They were on the fence about it at first, but they eventually came around. They did it so that you can become independent. Stop letting our parents support you and live on your own for once. Just because you're giving mom and dad money doesn't mean anything. You need to live independently.
Did you seriously throw everything away?
Yup. I did it while you were on your little trip. You're a parasite living off of mom and dad. Don't come home.
Thanks, you may think it's easier for me.
Huh?
I said that I was going on a business trip. But I'm actually working here indefinitely and had no plans of going back.
Huh? What do you mean?
I used to go on international trips and return home when I got back into the country. But if I was living there full time, then wouldn't I have had to pay rent?
I don't understand. What are you even saying? So you're telling me that you weren't actually living there in the first place?
Well, of course I would return home for short periods of time when I'd come back. But I never intended on fully living there. I already have a house in Paris.
Huh? You have a house in Paris?
I didn't tell you? I bought it last year. I was always moving between New York, London, and Paris. But from now on, I'd like to settle down in Paris. That's why I ended up buying the house.
I don't understand what you're saying. How can you afford to buy a house in Paris?
How? Well, I am working. I also just simply wanted to send money home to mom and dad. I pretended that it was for rent. Well, if mom and dad don't care anymore, then that's fine. I won't be planning on living there ever again anyways. I'm actually grateful that you cleaned up my room for me. Thanks.
So you never planned on taking mom and dad's house as your own?
Why would I do such a thing? I don't think I said anything about doing that.
Yeah, you didn't say anything, but...
I didn't even know you wanted the house. If mom and dad are okay with you living there, then I don't have any complaints. Just do whatever you want, Bella.
Huh? So what was I trying to compete for?
I have no idea. I think it's respectable that you're raising your 2 kids, but I don't like being told what to do by you. If you want to break up ties with me, then go ahead. Of course, I'll stop sending money just like you said I should. In return, you threatened me to not take any of the inheritance, right?
Yeah.
What's even there to be inherited? Mom and Dad are just living off their pension. I don't think there will be anything left to give to us besides the house. I never planned on receiving the house anyways. So you really didn't have to compete with anyone?
How could I have known? Does living off their pension really mean that they don't have much extra money? I suspected that you were surely using our parents' savings to go abroad since you go so often.
Come on, you seriously know nothing about me.
What do you mean?
I've worked so hard to the point that they put me in magazines. I'm practically famous. You seriously know nothing.
What? You're famous?
I go by the name Arena. If you Google me, stuff should come up. I have tens of thousands of followers on social media.
What do you mean? What kind of job do you even have?
I'm a designer. The fact that you don't know is shocking.
Huh? You're a designer? I've never heard this before.
From your perspective, I'm just a 40-something-year-old who's unmarried and likes to have fun abroad. You think I'm some good-for-nothing loser that uses her parents' money to mess around.
That's how it seemed.
I'm sorry, but that's so far from the truth. I used the money I made to go abroad and learn. And now I've made it. By the way, I'm not lonely. I have a partner.
What a partner!
We've been partners for a while now. But we just got engaged.
Hold on, I just checked on Instagram. You were engaged to this good-looking guy? This must be a joke, it's not a joke?
I'm not a joke. I'm sorry, but my life is a lot more fulfilling than you thought it was.
There's no way that you can be engaged to some extremely handsome guy. While I was cheated on by my shabby husband and my life isn't going well. My husband quit his job and he returned to his hometown so that he can get by without paying rent. How come you're the one who gets to live a happy life? That's not fair.
Can you calm down? What are you trying to say? You proclaimed that I would be kicked out of Mom and Dad's house and cut off from the family. Then you threw all my stuff out of the house. But now you're jealous? Please get yourself together. Have you ever thought that maybe the reason you're in this situation is the result of your own actions?
What are you saying?
There's nothing more that I can do for you. You and your husband can take care of our parents. That's what you wanted, right? In the meantime, I'll be living happily in Paris. Bye, I'll probably never see you again.
We were informed about Cammie's circumstances and the constant disregard she faced, as well as her elder sister Bella's descent into madness due to envy. Their parents managed to make ends meet with a limited budget relying solely on their pension. Bella eventually came to the realization that staying with her parents wouldn't afford her any financial gain. Ultimately, due to her spouse's infidelity, she decided to end the relationship and depart. She assumed the responsibility of caring for her children at home alongside her parents, and she even secured employment to generate additional income. This experience caused Mia to recognize the importance of fostering a better relationship with her younger sister and engaging in more effective communication with her. There are moments when she deeply regrets not cultivating a bond with her sister. Her regret intensified, particularly when she witnessed Cammie appearing on television, as Cammie now feels unattainably distant to her. Her family laments their failure to treat her kindly, acknowledging that they should have recognized this sooner.
Hello, Vera. Are you still working? How many times have I told you to resign and become a decent full-time housewife for my son?
Hello, Emily. It's great to hear from you as well. When I say this, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I've also told you many times that I'm not interested in quitting my work and becoming a housewife. I had hoped we were on the same page about this by now. And, moreover, James doesn't seem to object if I work, so I don't see the problem. To be honest, I believe this is something that should be decided between myself and my husband.
What? What are you on about, Vera? You are aware that others are accusing you of being selfish for not quitting your job to care for your daughter.
What? But I don't think I'm being selfish at all. What could be more selfish than working hard to care for your family?
But have you considered how your effort may affect Jenna? She most likely believes her mother ignores her and does not love her. Consider how this might affect her as she grows older. Whatever happens to her will be entirely your fault. Are you all right with that?
Do you think my child will have a lot of problems because her mother worked? I'm sorry, but I don't see the link there. I'm doing everything for Lucy. Okay, her well-being is constantly in the forefront of my attention. Besides, I'm still with her all day, you know?
But what you're doing is insufficient for her. Kids are extremely sensitive to these kinds of things and can be extremely sensitive to a lack of attention from their parents. You should be spending a lot more time with your children than you believe. I'm sure your poor little kid is lonely without you around to take care of her.
Sorry, but I don't believe much of what you're saying. Besides, Jenna is never truly alone during the day. After all, she is preparing to begin preschool with a large group of other children. And when she does start preschool, I'll be leaving work early every day to take her up.
And I can assure you that this is still insufficient for her. And your poor young kid is too kind to say anything to you.
Are you sure that's what's going on? Anyway, it's okay because James is usually helping around the house. And when I can't be with Jenna, he always makes time for her. When they're together, she always seems to be having a good time.
And you think that's a reasonable load to impose on my poor son? You have no idea how busy he is at work. When he gets home, he deserves to rest. But now you're telling me that you're too lazy to be a mother to your own daughter, so you make James do it? Don't you realize it's the woman's responsibility to raise the children and run the household?
I'm sorry, Emily, but I don't believe we hold the same views on that subject. Furthermore, I believe that times have evolved and that thinking is somewhat out of date. If a couple can work together, they can also raise their own children together. After all, it's their child, so shouldn't both parents be involved in its upbringing?
Well, in my family, we still appreciate traditional values and do not think in such way. What the rest of the world is doing is irrelevant to me. My rules apply to my family. Then again, you are just James' wife. We're not even blood relatives. But now that you've married in, the least you can do is raise your family the way I say.
Don't you think you've gone a little too far?
Not to mention the house. Do you take any steps to keep it clean? You just let dirty clothes pile up, dishes pile up in the sink, and dust accumulate everywhere. Food that was simply left out. Do you even try to keep your house clean?
I was hoping you'd bring up the status of the house. Last time you came by, you didn't leave any form of message or notification. Then you stormed in, searching every nook and cranny for flaws. Anyway, please don't do it again.
What could possibly have irritated you about my visit? Maybe if you truly kept your house in order, you wouldn't be so upset when guests come over. I didn't tell you I was coming over just to prove a point. And I had to be thorough in my search. Who knows where you tried to conceal your junk from me?
I wasn't hiding anything, and even if I was, it's my house, and I believe I have the right to do so.
Is that what you're thinking? You just didn't want me to find out what a slob you are. I never wanted you to marry my beloved son. He deserves a wife who can truly take care of the house as she should.
Actually, James and I do a great job of splitting the chores. And it's true that sometimes both he and I are so busy that we don't get the housekeeping done. But we've never let it get to the point where it became a significant problem. We constantly make certain that the house is clean enough that there is no danger to our health or anything of the sort.
Still, I don't think it's good enough. I can't bear going over to your disgusting place. And I'm sure my little James feels the same way. After all, I reared him and always kept the house pristine as he grew older.
I don't think you need to be concerned about that, Emily. James and I chat frequently, and he doesn't appear to have any issues about how we live.
Oh, my poor darling little boy. He must work extremely hard every day to keep himself under control around you. I simply wish he'd already divorced you.
Okay, I'm starting to get tired of this conversation. I would appreciate it if you picked your next words with care.
I'm just worried about my little son. He worked so hard at his job every day and even made sure to send some money home to me. I've heard you don't send money back to your parents. Is this correct? It's never too late to quit being a lousy daughter.
Actually, I don't send money home to my parents because they don't need it. Furthermore, neither works full-time nor has attained retirement age. I know you can stay at home with James for the duration of his childhood. But ever since your husband died, you've relied on James to send you money to get by.
And I am eternally grateful to my lovely, sweet boy. I did an incredible job raising him to be the man he is now. Of course, he is not flawless and has made some poor choices in his life. That is, some small and some not so small. Oh, I should have been there to steer him in the right direction.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're on about right now. Anyway, it's our house, not yours, so we'll keep doing things our way. Please refrain from making any further comments or criticism about how I operate my house. Thank you.
Excuse me? Who do you think you're talking to, young lady? If this is how you genuinely act, I truly feel sorry for my poor little child and granddaughter.
Anyway, I'm extremely busy, so I'm going to leave now.
Hello, honey. Did you and my mum talk earlier today? My mother sent me a message that was largely her complaining.
Yes. We had a conversation. She was asking me again if I was sure I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. She was just saying how lonely Jenna must be and how filthy the house must be. It's just a typical complaint, you know?
I see. I'm very sorry you have to deal with her like way. I've told her numerous times that you and I would cheerfully split the work and run the house together, but she's stuck in her old ideas and insists that all of this should be done by the wife. And then she only blames you when the chores go unfinished or the house is a little filthy. I've tried to explain how things truly are to her all the time, but she just doesn't seem to want to hear what I have to say.
No. I understand. It's fine. Your mother is the type of person who occasionally attempts to impose her will on others. That's exactly what I'm hearing from you. To be honest, I sometimes feel sorry for you. You're also a victim in this.
Yes, just a bit. But I'm sorry that all of her rage seems to be directed at you. I wish there was something I could do or say to my mom to make her stop. I've stopped trying to tell her the truth lately because she's becoming so much. I'm sorry I didn't do more to put a stop to it all.
I said it was okay, James, and I meant it. I realize you have a lot on your mind and are giving it your all. And your efforts are paying off. Just look at how great you did on that test last week. You're continually pursuing certifications and getting closer to your desired career.
Vera. That's very kind of you. Thank you really lot. But I couldn't have accomplished anything without you by my side, always prepared to assist. And I know I've made things difficult for you with all of this. But I vow to have some positive news for you soon. All I ask is that you hold on a little longer, okay?
Of course, my dear. You know I'll always be rooting for you.
We're having a family meal at that barbecue restaurant. We're going to eat a lot of delicious cuisine. With the exception of you. You are only permitted to eat from the salad bar.
Excuse me? What do you mean I'm only allowed to eat from the salad bar?
You aren't family, and this is a family supper. That's why I say you can't order anything off the menu. Only the salad bar. Maybe you can just eat all the divine fragrances.
What exactly are you talking about? Don't you think this is a little excessive?
And here she is again, the terrible wife who is always squabbling with her mother-in-law and never follows orders. You realize how much I despise you? Why don't you just leave?
That's okay. Maybe I'll do it.
Okay, then.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Enjoy your meal.
What did you say to James, you wicked witch? He is enraged with me right now. Did you realize that even your own daughter hates Grandma now? What kind of terrible lies did you spread among my family?
Jenna actually said that to you? I think I've been growing my child to be much tougher than I expected. To be honest, it moved me.
Tell me what you said to them, what caused my son and granddaughter so angry with me. I became so agitated that I had to dash to the restroom. James even advised me that I needed to adjust the way I spoke to you. Can you believe it?
I certainly hope that's the most he said to you, Emily. I've been irritated all day because of the bullshit you were spewing at me earlier. So I talked to James and told him all you had said to me. After I finished telling him everything, he seemed really unhappy with you.
You are heinous. What lies did you feed my poor little boy's mind? What have you done to my precious James?
It was at this time that I was on my way to the restaurant where I assumed we would all be eating together. Then you sent me all those angry messages, and I didn't even show up. So I explained what had happened to James and that I was too sad and needed to go home. And I'm guessing that's around the time James and Jenna arrived to meet you at the restaurant.
So that's why only those two were present when I arrived? And what is all this nonsense about my son not working right now? You're saying my son and granddaughter have been subsisting on what you've brought home? I don't believe it.
So James finally told you what he's been up to, huh? To be honest, that was surprising. He assured me he would wait till he reached his goal before telling you everything.
What do you mean? You must speak to me clearly right now or else. You'd better explain what you're talking about with James' purpose.
So, this conversation didn't get very far, did it? James has always aspired to be a designer, did you know? I'm sure you knew about your darling little guy, right?
What exactly did he do? What are you even saying? You're saying James is now studying that? Design?
Yes, it is correct. He returned to school to pursue his interest in design. That's why I've been working extra hard to provide for my entire family.
This has to be a joke, right? I thought I had put an end to his crazy dreams when he was little.
Do you see what I mean? You got in the way of your kid doing what he truly desired. Now I'm working hard to give him a chance to realize the aspirations you forced him to abandon. He's always been such a good son, doing whatever you asked. So I'm not going to do the same. Instead, I'll be there for him every step of the way as he forges his own path.
You idiotic cow! Are you attempting to derail my son's future?
Oh, Emily. Isn't that the question I should be asking you? James was always forced to do things he didn't want to do. Forcing him to apply for jobs that you have chosen for him. It didn't really matter as long as your expectations were met, right?
But I had no choice. As a result, he had a nice salary and a terrific work with an incredible firm. But you made him abandon everything only to pursue some foolish fantasy of his? Don't you see this is going to ruin him?
Let me tell you a little bit about his profession, Emily. Not only was it something he didn't choose for himself and never wanted to do, but he would always come home late after hours of overtime and appear depressed. What I'm doing for James is because I want him to have a better life. I want to support him in the same way that my parents helped me start my own business.
But you must first open your eyes. This is the real world in which we live. And, young woman, let me tell you something. The real world doesn't care about your dreams. What if James doesn't succeed? So, what are your plans?
If that's the case, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But, no matter what, I will always work hard to provide for my family. That is what a good husband and wife do. We're here for one another.
That's great for you, but what about Jenna? Aren't you abandoning her by constantly working? Look at the state of your home. That is no way to raise a child.
Actually, because I work so much, James has been doing all of the chores. Of course, I assist him whenever possible because his first focus right now is Jenna's care.
That's a sick familial dynamic. You make your hubby do the housework? That is completely unnatural.
In life, there is work, and housekeeping. Since I'm in charge of the work, James is in charge of the housework. But, if you think about it, it's the polar opposite of how things used to be in your day.
That is why it is unacceptable. It is simply not going to happen.
What you think is irrelevant to me. Jenna is constantly appreciative of how hard her father works. And when she grows up and has her own hopes and ambitions, James and I will be there to support her in whatever she chooses. She will also learn from her father what it means to pursue and achieve one's aspirations. After all, James was so unhappy for so long because of the way you raised him.
What did you just say to me?
That's why he's so against raising Jenna the way you did. Do you understand all I'm saying right now? We are going to do things our way and raise our children the way we want them to be raised.
You believe you can raise your children without the help of grandparents? You will be regret.
No, Emily. I believe you will be the one who regrets how this turns out. I believe you should be aware that the allowance you thought James was providing you was actually from my personal salary. But your own son said it was time to cut you off. As a result, you will no longer get checks in the mail as of today.
Wait, what? Then how am I expected to live? How am I expected to buy food? I'd never had to work before. My entire life, I was a stay-at-home mother.
And this is the result of you believing that was the best option for you. I suppose you should have had a backup plan in case things went wrong. I've gone this far in life on my own power, which is why I'll never be a housewife.
Wait! You can't do this to me. I'm your in-law's mom. I admit that I was mistaken. You are not limited to eating at the salad bar. Do you think we could meet in person and talk?
I don't have anything else to say to you. I hope you live a life that you are certain you picked for yourself. I'm confident that's the only way you'll know whether or not your choices were proper. But, in my opinion, people who have never worked a day in their lives should learn about the real world before lecturing others how to live. Emily then exited the restaurant's bathroom and returned to her table. When I arrived, she was still sitting there, getting reprimanded by her son. I looked at Emily and urged her to enjoy the salad bar before I went home with my family. We left Emily there to consider her options. Emily struggled to find a part-time job to support her new existence away from our family. I've heard she's barely getting by.